everybody. Lev Farmer 73 here, and we're gonna be talking about some bikes. Now, I was going to dedicate this entire week uh, to bikes, all electric bikes, because what's getting everybody so kind of, I don't know, that's keeping you from purchasing an electric bike is you just don't know which one to get. You kind of like, I don't know. I want one, but it's so many. How do you pick between them? So this is what I plan on doing. I'm going to be testing several different electric bikes. Now, the way I feel about them, of course, is going to be my opinion. And I can only tell you, there you go, that made it a little better. I can only tell you how they operate for me and what I like about them. And I'm also going to be telling you the things I do not like about them. I'm going to be completely transparent. And I've even spoke to the companies and let them know I'm not lying to the people. I'm going to tell them what I think. For me, okay, I'm a whole different body shape, height, everything from you. So my results may differ from you. So I'm going to do my best to keep all the information universal and just tell you, I'm going to give you the facts. And then I'm going to tell you whether this is for me or not for me. I'm going to tell you my favorites for me. And then I'm going to tell you the ones that I don't really care for. Now, I have one already that I'm kind of like, okay. So let me get in here. I seen a couple people coming in the room. Let me see what we got. Hey, Dave Busby. Hey, Shiny 2003. Hey, Evan. How y'all doing this morning? It's good to see y'all. So my question to you, which will probably not get answered, is who has been interested in purchasing? Hey, Mr. Blackstar. Who has been interested in purchasing? You've been on the fence about an electric bike, but you just don't know which one. Hey, Candace T. Hey, CP Family Farming. Anybody? You've been interested in them, looking at them, because I'm going to put the video out regardless. So, but I'm doing this because I'm hoping instead of, hey, Gerard, I'm hoping instead of me just putting out a product review video, if I can get some feedback from things that I think you may be looking for, that will help me test these bikes. Hey, Lorenzo. Hey, Carla. Say, Mr. Blackstar, I've been thinking about an EB, electric bike, but have to research it first. Okay. What are you looking for in an electric bike? What exactly are you looking for, Mr. Blackstar? And that will help me look for that for you. When I test these bikes, I'll keep that in mind. I'll write that down and say, did it have this or did it have that? I know how they feel for me, but I'm not the one, this purchasing them. I'm doing this for you. So the more I know about you guys, speed versus power consumption. Okay. Shiny 2003 said, I'm interested in getting one. Okay. Now, you know what I thought? I thought myself, I thought that I wanted the fastest electric bike I can possibly get. Shiny 2003 says, I want one with good distance before the battery goes and how fast I can charge it by solar. Okay, how fast you can charge it by solar is completely up to whatever kind of solar power generator you have, its charging capability. So that's neither here nor there when it comes to the bike. Now, how fast can the bike charge? All electric bikes, as many as I've seen so far, they all take a decent amount of time to charge, okay? So far that I had experience with personally, there has not been not single one fast charging electric bikes. Not one. Now, the ones that they said they had, they were blowing people's houses up in that other country. Those fast charging electric bikes and fast charging electric scooters, they were blowing people's houses up. And I don't think they worked the bugs out of that yet. So I don't even want one until they stop catching people's houses and garages on fire. Let me see. Now, what I was saying about the speed, I used to think I wanted the fastest electric bike that they have, right? Then I started thinking to myself, if I'm looking for speed and I'm spending anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000, if I'm looking for this crazy speed, just go buy a motorcycle, right? So we crossed that line right there of, hey, Walter Williams, hey, Trailer Park. We crossed that line of what do you really want out of a bicycle? Because I think that's where we're getting lost. Even myself, I was losing that in translation. So when a bicycle, when I was looking at bikes, I was looking for speed. Oh, it only go 19 mile an hour. It only go 20 mile an hour. It only go 25 mile an hour. Well, I don't know if anybody saw my Varla scooter video. The Varla scooters. The Varla scooters do about 40 miles an hour with me on it. It's 250 pounds of me. And they're doing almost 40 miles an hour. I did the video and I did it raw so you could see exactly. I don't even know if you were lighter in weight, you would probably do all bit of 40 and some change. So one thing I learned about going 40 mile an hour standing up on two little tiny wheels, let me tell you something. When you get off, you're going to have to go to the bathroom because it'll scare the crap out you. It's not for the weak. You know, the first Varla scooter commercial video that I did, I didn't have a helmet on, just had my hat turned backwards. I will never do that again. Let me tell you, everybody like, Led, put on a helmet. Put on a helmet. I was like, I grew up without a helmet and I fell off many bikes. I'm fine. Get out of here. That's this new age stuff. But when you on that scooter, you're hanging on for dear life. They are exhilarating, but you better put your gear on, right? So that also made me think, now that I use those scooters almost every day on my land. And here's the thing, I'm not doing 40 mile an hour. And it gets me where I need to go, but just to know I have that option, I got it. So when it comes to an electric bike, am I looking for speed? You know, some of these bikes actually do 30 miles an hour that I own. I don't even do the full maximum speed because I use my electric bikes to help me. It's a lot of hills and valleys around here in South Carolina. So riding a conventional bike, you better be a triathlon Olympic star before you jump on one of these, a normal bike. So riding electric bike helps you a little bit. I don't want the electric bike to always do everything for me or just pull the throttle. I do want to use it for exercise purposes. I do want to use it for activity, but every blue moon is cool to pull the throttle and go. But at the same time, I do not want to go like 30, 40 mile an hour on this little bike. I promise to you, it doesn't sound fast at all, right? If you get in your car and you go 20 mile an hour, you're going to be like, man, this is driving me crazy. Do it on two wheels though. Do it on a bicycle, not a motorcycle. Do 20 mile an hour, 25 mile an hour on a bicycle. Your whole perspective changes because there's the ground right there. And you start thinking about that. You know, when I'm doing 30 mile an hour, squirrels is running across my trail and I almost hit them. When you in a car, you don't think about it. You say a quick prayer for the squirrel and be like, I hope he made it. This squirrel, I got another video of an electric bike, and this squirrel almost caught the Holy Ghost, right? He almost got it, and that squirrel also almost jumped up on me just like they do on a tree. So things change. 20 mile an hour is fine, I promise you. Now, they do have settings. Most of these bikes have settings that you can make it go faster. Now, I want you to remember something else about the speed. You got your class 1, you got your class 2, and you got your class 3 electric bikes. Once you start getting into the class 3s where they're going 30 mile an hour and up, you got to have some kind of license for that. You have to have some kind of licensing for that. And I don't know the full law and rules about it, so I'm not going to touch on that. But you look into it, do your research. So once that electric bike gets into a class 3, I believe, yeah, class 3, you got to start having some license and some plates and everything else for that thing. So I just want you guys to know that there is something else you need. You just can't pull this out your garage and ride it no more after it goes a certain speed. Let's see what we got in here. Lorenzo said 30 mile an hour is still pretty fast compared to a manual pedal. Yes, it is. She said I'm interested in an electric bike. CP Farming, Family Farming says, do the electric bikes go back and forth from electric to manual pedaling if you choose? Yes. I'm going to be explaining all of this. As a matter of fact, would y'all like me to pull out one of the electric bikes and those kind of questions I can answer and actually show you? Would you like? Let's just do it, okay? Yes, the question is yes. If I don't feel like pedaling, you can adjust it. You can cut the pedal assist off, as that's what it's called. Pedal assist, you can cut that off and just use your pedals and your gears because it still has gears. You can use that. Or you could just pull the throttle and go. Or you can adjust the pedal assist to 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. How much when you pedal is it going to help you? Let's go get a bike and then we'll talk about it so I can show you hands-on. That way you will know exactly what we're talking about. Hang tight. Okay, let me see if y'all can see that. You can see that pretty good. I'm going to show it a little better. I'm not going to introduce this yet, but I'm going to let you guys see what we're talking about. Let me get my stool together here. That's enough chair time. Get your questions together because not only am I going to be answering them, but I'm going to be actually showing you hands-on exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. Let's crank this up a little bit. That'll give you a little bit more. Okay. Now, before we get started, this is the I can never pronounce his name, Injui, and it's a folding electric bike. I did not think I would like this bike, and it quickly became one of my favorites. Like, it's a keeper, okay? I did not think I would like this bike, but after I rode it for a day, the only reason I rode it so long is because, God, it was comfortable and it was everything I wanted. And actually, it ended up being the fastest electric bike out of all my electric bikes. Now, let's see what this is. All right, where's them questions at? Okay, everybody was saying yes. Okay, I would love to have one that I could fold up. And that's what we got right here. This is a folder. I got a couple of folders to show you guys too, okay? Okay, how many times can you charge the average bike before the battery starts losing storage capacity? Now, that's something I would look more into and do more research on, and so I could tell you the exact number, but you gotta remember something else, okay? A lot of these LiPo batteries. Hey, B Rich, what's going on? Say, what's up, everybody in the chat? Led, do you think we will see the next generation of bikes generate their own charging from pedaling? They actually have some right now. They have some, but they cost just as much as a car. So they have the technology and it's out there, but they are not economical for the average person that wants a bike. So yes, that's a good question. Okay. Do you have to replace the seats on them, or are they comfortable? Okay, that's completely subjective to your cheeks. If this seat is not good enough for you, okay, I can't say what you need to be sitting on. They're all removable. You can take all of the seats off and change it to whatever you need. If you need one of them, them ones like that, you can buy that. You can buy a different bike seat to fit whatever size cheeks you need, your comfortability, okay? But at the same time, you got to understand something. Bicycles are like Jeep Wranglers, and I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Electric bikes and most normal pedaling bicycles are like Jeep Wranglers. Jeep Wranglers come bare bones, no frills, no thrills. Miss 6 o'clock, there is nothing exciting on a Jeep Wrangler. You know why? Because they know the consumer, the first thing on a Jeep Wrangler that everybody is going to take off. Have you ever looked at a Jeep Wrangler and looked at those ashy bumpers? The bumpers be all ashy and gray because the manufacturer knows the first thing a Jeep owner is going to do is remove the front and rear bumpers and put bigger and stronger, sturdier, no matter what they come with. They can come painted, they can come anything. First thing a Jeep owner is going to do, remove the front and the rear bumpers. Put on the front bumper with a winch on it and some hooks and some grappling stuff, and the rear bumper with a tire holder because they don't want the tire on the door. The first thing they know, that manufacturer knows, the consumer, the first thing they're going to do is replace these parts. The fenders, that's why the fenders are so wobbly. They're not like that because they're made cheaply. They're like that because they know that the consumer, the very first thing they do is remove the fenders and they remove the front and rear bumper. That's why those are junk. On an electric bike or any bicycle, the reason they give you this brick to sit on, because 99.9% of consumers, the first things you change out when you purchase a bicycle or e-bike is this seat. This is the first thing to go, is this seat. They know that. The handlebar grips, they know that. Those are the very first things that they know the consumer is going to get rid of. So They don't charge you for these seats or these grips because they know you're going to throw them away. So they put the cheapest, most economical thing to help build this and keep costs down so you can buy it because they know you just going to go and put your own seat on it because everybody's cheeks ain't the same. Now, if this is good enough for your cheeks and you got like a little, a little something, that's all you got right here working with, you scored. If this is great for you, you scored. So that's an extra expense that you don't have to go out and waste money on. That extra expense right there, you're good. Where most people definitely usually need another kind of seat. Okay? So, any more questions? So you can change that seat out however you want to. Actually, you can change this whole post. Say you're taller. This has a quick release clamp right here where you can just put that in there, lock that in, and you ready to go. Unlock that, take this whole post off. And you see under here, this is where you take that seat off. You unscrew this and you slide this seat out of the bar and you just add a whole new seat on it. It's that simple. Tighten it back up. Now you got a nice little wider cushion. You see this? No springs underneath or anything. We're gonna talk about the bike later, okay? Right now we're talking about the workings of it. But this is it. You can change all of this to your liking all you want to. I'm going to have a discount code for this bike. Literally, I'm working on the video to put the video out either today or tomorrow. I'm going to have a discount code on this bike. I'm going to have a discount code on another bike. I'm going to have a discount code on another bike and another bike and another bike and another bike. But first, I said I want to make sure you guys know the inner workings of all of these. Because I wouldn't like for you to buy it and you don't know what the hell you're doing. Or you don't know what you're purchasing. You have no clue. You're interested and you really want to get into electric bikes and see what the big deal is. You're going to see why all these bigger major cities are starting to see scooters and electric bikes everywhere. What did I tell y'all about 3 years ago? I told you these things are going to be everywhere. We were at Daytona Beach this past summer. I don't know how they was pulling it off in saltwater, but people was renting and riding electric bikes up and down the beach in the salt water. I couldn't understand it. I was like, won't the salt water damage the battery compartment? But I don't know. I guess not, because they were there for 2 days that I was there riding these electric bikes up and down the beach. Who knew? If somebody would have asked me, can you ride that around saltwater before I saw that, I would have said no. So they have motorized scooters with solar charging around the college areas where I live. Okay. Let me see. Hey, Happy Mac, I just seen somebody say hey to you. Hey, she is Sunshine. Okay. I'm looking for questions. The other thing would be parts and maintenance. Is it easy to self-repair? Are parts regularly found? Or is it a disposable item at a certain point? The only things that's really different, let me back this up, because this is something that I figured out myself. A lot of this stuff is interchangeable. From the motor to the batteries to all of this stuff, there's so much online stuff just on Amazon alone. If I don't want this computer readout, I can exchange it for something else. These grips, the gearing, the control manual, I can change all of this. They even have right here, this is a 750 watt motor, but the thing is, that's powerful. But some people, thrill seekers, they want that 1,000 watt motor, right? They want that 1,000 watt motor. You can buy that. You can actually purchase a 1,000 watt motor, switch this out, and you'll have a more powerful vehicle. So it's all interchangeable. The real question is, do you even know how to work on anything? If you are mechanically inclined, of course, it's no different than your bicycle in your garage. If you don't know how to change a sprocket on your average, everyday, normal, most of our life seen pedaling bicycle, if you don't know how to change out your sprockets, you don't know how to lube up your ball bearings, you don't know how to change a chain, you don't know how to link a chain, if you don't know how to do any of that, that bike is just as useless to you as this one is. So that's kind of how this is. It depends on if you're mechanically inclined. If you're mechanically inclined, all of this stuff is interchangeable and you can work on it yourself. I actually changed. I got another bike, and I'll have to get into that later. I got another bike. I really, really, really like this bike. But the bike had it came with a 250 watt motor. And I might as well have been on a normal bike. It came with a 250 watt motor. So I bought a 750 watt motor for it, and I'm working on swapping it out. I just don't have the time. It's easy, I just don't have the time. Love the bike, hate the motor. So that's what I'm working on doing right now. And it's just simple. I don't have the time to finish it yet. So everything, as long as you're mechanically inclined and you know what you're doing, or you know where to get all the parts, all of these parts you can get online anywhere. They don't have to be from this specific company. I'm actually going to show you guys a damn near bare bones bike. Bare bones. When I say bare bones, I mean there's no suspension. Listen, none. There is no front shocks. There is no rear shocks. The seat is not adjustable. It only has a 500 watt motor in it. I'm going to show you the reason that's bad and good about that bike. And I'm going to talk about it right now real quick. The things that's bad about that bike is this bike suck. That's the bike I'm going to show you. But there's a good side to that though. The bike that I'm going to show you later, it sucks if you don't want to put in no work. But if you like to tinker and you like to change things on the bike, you want to add suspension, you want to add a bigger motor, you want to add all of these, the bike is off the chain. Matter of fact, it, to me, is actually my best looking bike, but it's just so bare bones that I'm like, you hit a bump, you gonna feel it from the insides out, okay? So, let me see if we got any more questions. Black Star say, okay, Mr. Black Star say simplistic design. Now that's the big selling point to me. Yes. They have motorized scooters with solar charge. Oh, got that one. Okay, Carla, you welcome. Say thanks, Led. This is great information. I've been looking back and forth about getting some of these. Game Nerd Mamas in Toledo, Ohio. When I visited my hometown back in November, I was wondering what the heck was all these bikes and scooters just laying around up against trees for. I couldn't understand it. They were literally around my entire city. And I couldn't understand it. Like, why ain't nobody stealing them? Number one, it was so many. Number two, everybody told me how that worked. Game Nerd Mom told me, oh, you can rent them. You just pick one up and rent it. Swipe your card and get to your destination. Because I also realized, dang, I don't see as many city buses running anymore while I was back home. That's because everybody is on these bikes. Everybody is renting these bikes. Everybody is renting electric scooters and electric bikes. They don't need to catch the bus anymore because that bus is going to drop you off at a certain point. And then you might have to walk 2 miles to your house or your destination. These bikes will let you off right in front of your job. You leave this right in front of your job. You ride your bike to work, get off of it, leave it there, and either somebody going to pick it up or somebody else is going to rent it and leave. I thought it was brilliant. Game Nerd Mom say, yeah, they definitely out now too with the weather being nice. I can imagine. I can imagine. Cato Family Farm, I think that's Cato Family Farm, says city of Tulsa, Oklahoma has those around the city as well. Listen, Georgia, I'm just talking about from what I've seen. Orlando, Florida, all parts of Orlando. Daytona, Florida, all parts of Daytona. Toledo, Ohio. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Columbia, South Carolina. And you saying Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm just talking about places I've been in this last year where I've seen them everywhere and couldn't understand why they're not being stolen rather. But I get it now. It's like it's so common in these cities now. Who cares? Nobody even cares. It's like pollution. You just walk or step over them. Nobody's stealing them. They're not worth anything because everybody has one. Okay, Mr. Blackstar said they got it in Phoenix, Arizona too. Okay. Any other questions about anything on how this bike works, how any electric bike works, the ins and outs of it? Because again, for the people that just coming in, I'm going to be doing bike week for the rest of the week. I'm going to try to show you a bike every day for the rest of the week. I'm going to try my hardest to show here on this channel. I'm going to speak on that on my Laird Farmer channel as well. So if you know anybody that's interested, you might want to tell them to come check this out because I'm going to be going in and out. No, that's not a trike. I'm working on getting a trike. I'm working on it. I got somebody, if they come on before somebody else offer me to show a trike, I really, really want an electric trike. The reason I want an electric trike is because a lot of people can't, up in age or health-wise, can't really work with two wheels like that, Is a lot of different reasons why a lot of people can't do the two wheels. So they prefer the three-wheel bikes or the three-wheel trikes because it's just that much easier. They don't have to worry about stopping and putting their feet down and balancing. They don't have to worry about that anymore. But that'll make it so older people and people with health conditions can also enjoy outdoors riding your bike as well. So I'm working on that right now, okay? So please keep your ears keep posted because I'm gonna keep poking at these people I'm looking at one, okay? I've gotten one response, so I'm working on it. Let me see. That would be worth it to me, a trike, yeah. Okay. So, no more questions. If there's no more questions, I just dip out of here and let you guys know. Just you know something. I'm gonna say this. Sometimes you just don't know how good something is until you actually put your hands on it. I never wanted an electric bike in my whole life. Actually, I thought they were ridiculous long ago. How far per charge? Each bike differs, okay? That has a lot to do with, listen, each bike, when you ask how far per charge, let's just say this bike, for instance, right? Let's just say I can get 30 miles on this bike, which is not the case. Let's just say I can get 30 miles. It's rated for 30 miles per charge. All of that differs for me. 250 pounds, where I believe all of them pretty much got like a 400-pound weight limit. But that all depends, right? Game Nerd Mom, exactly. The terrain, I live in Columbia, South Carolina. You cannot ride a skateboard or roller skates around here unless you're a daredevil, because every almost quarter of a mile, you're going up a hill, down a hill. When I'm telling you, steep. So that all change. Hey, Analytic Gardener, all of that changes if you got to constantly go up a hill, down a hill, up a hill, climbing steeper up a hill. So it just depends on your terrain. It depends on your location. It depends on your weight. It depends on how much you actually pedal or how much you just pull the throttle. Okay? So here's another myth buster I'm about to tear y'all up with. Okay. People ask me about the speedometer. How does it keep track of the speedometer? Myth buster. Watch this. I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to bring y'all closer and I'm going to turn this on. Just so we can all learn a couple of things here. So this is how I turn it on. Cut the power on. This is how I turn the power on this one. Okay. Bring that down and closer for you so you can really see. Okay. I've taken this out almost 4 miles right here, if y'all can see that. Now, get this. The speedometer is not like in a motorcycle and is not like in a car. The speedometer, the odometer rather, the odometer that tracks the mileage is not in the front wheel. It's not in the back wheel. It's in the motor. Does anybody know what that means? Before I get started. Does anybody know what that means before I get started? The odometer telling you how far you have ridden your bike or driven your bike. The big difference is the little thing that tracks how far you've been is not in the front wheel. The little thing that tracks how far you've been is not in the rear wheel. The little thing, the odometer, is in the motor. It's in the motor. So here, watch this. I'm going to do a little example with y'all right now. So all I'm going to do is lean this bike over off the kickstand and you watch that odometer. You watch this. Y'all know I'm standing here talking to you, right? Now I'm just going to hit the throttle. We're going to crank that all the way up to sport mode level 5. Sport mode level 5. Keep watching that. Right now it's 3.4. This thing is so fast. See that? 3.5. Let's go to 3.6. And I think my point will be 3.6. Let's do up to 3. Let's try to get it up to 4 miles. I'm trying not to let that wheel hit nothing. This bike will take off out of this window like a rocket. Do y'all see that odometer moving? Four miles. Now this has cruise control until you hit if you hit this button for more than 30 seconds, it just has cruise control. I love this bike. I love this bike. So, I love this bike. If you hold the throttle for more than 30 seconds and you can just let it go and it'll be locked on whatever speed you were doing. Cruise control until you hit the brakes, just like your car. This bike is dope. I got a discount code for this sucker. Let me tell you something. This one is a keeper. I'm keeping this one forever. So, that thing was saying 42 miles an hour, right? And it goes that fast. With me on it, the fastest I was on it was 30. It got to 30 miles an hour with 250 pounds on it. And I was like, that's enough. This is a fold-up bike, so it got a lot of, brakes in it here and there. I just didn't feel comfortable going faster. Plus, with my size, it would probably never reach 47 miles an hour, whatever that was, okay? So I just kind of backed off of that. Now, any questions? Let me see if there's any questions on that. The reason I did that is because I need you to know, depending on what you're doing, you don't know if that odometer is right or not, okay? Just saying, that's an easy way to trick the odometer or something to happen. Just letting y'all know. Let me get back in here. Right, Game Nerd Mom. I just put on almost, what, a half a mile? We ain't left nowhere. We ain't went nowhere. C-Man said it depends on the motor windings, which depends on the calibrations. I'm not sure what you were talking about on that one. What's the average weight of an electric bike? There is no real average weight. It depends on what bike you purchase. All of that is subjective to what bike you're purchasing. Like, for instance, this bike is clearly smaller, one of the smallest bikes that I have, right? Clearly, you can see it right here. Just by my arm length, you can see it's a smaller foldable bike. That does not mean it weighs less than my mountain bikes, my bigger, heavy-duty, all-terrain bikes. It doesn't matter. It depends on what that bike is made out of. And I'm going to tell you this, just so you know. Some of these electric bikes out here are made of aluminum. Some of these electric bikes are made out of steel. Some of these bikes have spoke wheels, which you're used to seeing, and some of them got mag wheels. So all of the weight for all of that depends on what is that bike made of. Don't let the size fool you. The size will fool you. Don't let that fool you. So there's not really a universal average weight of these things. So she says that I still want one. Okay, let me see. Game Nerd Mom, do they offer accessories for that bike? That's a beautiful question. I love that question. You know why? Because you don't have to buy accessories at this company. The normal accessories that you go to Walmart and see, you can purchase. When you purchase an e-bike, here's the thing about the other e-bikes y'all see me with, and I got bags on them, water bottles, phone holders, and all that stuff. Not one of those accessories that I added to any of my, the trailer or the trailer hitch, none of that came with. I bought all that stuff either online or from Walmart. I didn't buy it from the company at all. So everything that goes on your normal average bike that you just can purchase and pedal can go on these electric bikes. Now, somebody said every time you speed up, are you going farther? I don't understand the question. Every time you speed up, are you going farther? That's impossible. The only thing, I'm trying to answer that question, but the only thing I can say to that, if you speed up, you're not going farther. If you speed up, you're just getting to your destination sooner. Unless I'm misunderstanding the question. Can we see it fold up? You want to know something? I have unfolded it yet. I think that'll be cool. Because this one comes with the key and everything. All right. So we're going to find this out together. I've unfolded it when I put it together. You got to hit this key. The key, this is what I don't like about the bike. Once you put the key in and turn it, the key is locked in too and won't come out. I don't know why they did that. Maybe so you won't lose it. So let's try it. I'm gonna bring y'all over here. This is just one particular kind of bike. All right. So hold on a minute. This is just one particular kind of bike. Now I know I've just unlocked it with the key. I'm gonna set this to the side just to see. And you push this. There's a, let me see. Can y'all see that okay? There's a little button here that says open, and you slide that back, if you can see that. And then you just pop this open. Now, with the key out, I believe it's ready to rock. I could be wrong. I remember there was something else I had to do. No, it's ready to rock. Watch this. I think. Yeah, there you go. Let me see if y'all can see that. You see it? I just ain't did it much, so it's kind of stiff. There you go. And there's the inner workings of the battery. Now, I'm not going to fold this all the way up like a pretzel because I think that's unnecessary. But as you see, this folds over. The whole bike folds up in half. And then, I'm going to close it back up so I can show you something else it does. Now, we're going to just lock that back in like that, and it's locked. Now, the handlebars do the exact same thing. It has the sliding locking pin. You fold that down. Now, I'm very familiar with that because this is how the bike came. Now, when you do that and then you fold the bike in half, you put this in the trunk of your car and you ready to roll. I have several of these folding bikes that I'll be introducing to you this week. Let's get this back over here so we can see what we're doing. Okay. I'm going to put this key back in because I don't want to lose it. And I don't want this unfolding on me because I've been riding the snot out of this bad boy. And no, it's not a cute little neighborhood bike. This is just as hardcore as any other bike you can ride. There we go. Now it's locked in place. Okay. Any questions? It comes with metal fenders. Even though that's high quality, these days and time, that's not my thing. I do like the plastic fenders better, but these are high quality metal fenders. Let me see if I got any questions. Say, Cato asks, are the tires all rubber or inner tube? Inner tube. You have inner tube in them. Now, if you wanted to exchange that with a what are they called? The tires that you don't need no more air in them. You can exchange them and go buy. If you wanted to spend the money on those, you can go buy those and add that to your bike if you wanted to. Again, that's an accessory that you can completely do on your own accord. If the airless inner tubes or the airless tires, if that's what you really wanted, you can do that. You saw the welding on that bike? Yes, Mr. Black Star, yes. Excellent welding because, listen, I actually sent one bike back to one manufacturer. My son right now is an apprentice welder, and I promise you, even he said those welds are horrible. And he's an apprentice. If he says those, I knew the welds were terrible, but when my son even walked up, like, those welds are awful. I was like, yeah, I don't know who did this, but that got to go back. I mean, you could see them from a distance. You know what I'm saying? It was bad. It was bad. They took no time to smooth them out, sand them out, nothing. It was just globbed on. That had to go back. Trailer Park says on the odometer, that's what it looks like. I missed something. That's what it looks like. I missed something. Yes. it would snap apart if you got some crappy welds. Because if you got a crappy weld, if you look at the welds on some of these bikes or cars or anything, that also shows you, should I trust this with my life? Usually when things are made out of steel and it has been welded, the reason they go that far using steel and welding is because this is life altering, life saving, or or lack thereof. They don't want something to happen to people. It's for safety, it's for strength, it's for durability. So if you look at something that's supposed to be saving your life, like you walking across the bridge, would you walk across a rusty bridge? Of course you wouldn't. And if you did, if you would, you're a fool. Or maybe you really are so depressed you want to get past that rusty bridge. You want to walk across that rusty bridge. Most of us, no. So, how's the braking on that particular bike? On this particular bike, what's cool about it, this one has hydraulic brakes. Let me tell you something. Now imagine if this had normal manual wired brakes, it would scare me because this thing is super fast. This is the fastest e-bike I have to date. If it had just normal pull, wired brakes, I would be scared of it. It has disc brakes, but it goes so fast. They had to put hydraulics on this. You need those hydraulic brakes because when it's time to stop, it stops. And you better believe. Listen, imagine this. Most of y'all don't weigh 250 pounds. I do. When I'm ready to stop, I need to stop. Imagine this. You got 250 pounds plus whatever this bike weighs. Let's just say this bike weighs about 70 pounds, okay? So you got over 300 pounds coming down the street on two wheels at 30 miles an hour. That thing better be able to stop. And they know that. They know most of the people that's going to own some of these electric bikes, they're not going to be weighing in at no 35, 60 pounds. They know they got some grown people on here because people that weigh 60 pounds usually are children. They don't have any money to buy a bike. So they aim these products towards adults. Most adults, especially here in America, are overweight. They know that. That's hence the welds, okay? So they also know we better not put manual braking on here. We better put hydraulic brakes, okay? Mr. Blackstar said, I'm a big dude. I'm a big dude. Brakes need to be strong. Amen. Okay, I feel you. So, okay. Any other questions we can get out of here? Just remember, I'm going to be announcing on my other channel, Bike Week. Big Bike Week is coming. And I'm going to be showing a bunch of bikes so you can decide. Or we can even go live like this, either before or after. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go live with the bike so you can ask me questions about the bike or whatever electronic device I come with. You can ask all the questions in the world that you could think of live or in the comment section. And then, of course, I'll put out the fairly cheesy video, as you know. I'll put that out. But I really want to talk to the people. I need to talk to the people. See, me putting out a video of bikes and electric generators, I'm not the kind of tech channel that just wants to put out the video to appease the company and just let it go. I want to know what the people want, because if I know what you want, I know what to tell them. I know I can talk to the companies and I can tell the companies what you want. If you don't ask me questions, I don't know what to tell them. And then, right, give me some feedback. And if you don't tell me anything, they just going to be putting out what they think you want. For instance, back in the day, men were designing women's bras. Hey, Gigi. Women were designing men were designing women's bras on what a man think a woman's breasts are supposed to look like. He never gave a damn about how they felt, or nothing like that, because he don't know. So he was designing all kind of crazy. Y'all seen back in the 50s, them rocket ship brassieres and stuff. Every girl back in the 50s, the 40s, and the 50s looked like, they was either going to blast off into space or they had some machine gun jubblies in there. Men designed them. That's why. Women didn't design them. So they had to get feedback from women to say, hey, yo, them bras hurt. They cute. They hurt. Men were designing women's shoes. And that's why if you're at any point of the medical profession whatsoever and you have to work bedside, you see older women up in age with the hammer toe, the toe like this, their foot is like this. It's not from arthritis, okay? When I was a nurse, you saw women's feet like this, and it was not from arthritis. It wasn't from some health condition. You know what it was from? Can anybody tell me what their feet, their daddy toe, mama toe, brother, sister, and baby toe? Can anybody tell me right now, why did the ladies from back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s have their feet like this once they're elderly in a hospital bed? Can anybody tell me? I'm going to tell you why. It's because men were designing women's shoes in such a point and in such horrible material that women were jamming their feet down in this shoe that's pointed like this. If you look at my hand almost look like a red bottom right now, don't it? Women were jamming their feet down in there to appease their husbands, and this is what the men told the women that they need to look like. Their feet need to be in these kind of shoes all day, in the house, cleaning up, outside, hanging the laundry, everything. So now that those ladies are older and in their last years, all their feet look like they giving you the finger. All of their feet look like they giving you the finger because of those poor judgments. So if I get feedback on this channel about the products that I present, I can talk directly to those companies and let them know, man, they don't like that. They don't like that. Okay? This is what they're telling me they want. Okay, you want to add that? Because I'm going to tell you one company that is truly listening to their customers, and that's why they whipping every other. I'm not gonna say that. EcoFlow is listening to their customers. EcoFlow they are listening to the complaints. They are listening to the people like, this is nice, but you know what will make it better? ... And EcoFlow is really writing this down and trying to integrate some of these great ideas from their consumers into their products. I'm just saying. When a company does that and they get that feedback and they actually implement the feedback to make their product even better, that's the company you want to hang out with the ones that listen to the actual consumer, the people that spending their hard-earned money to purchase your product. Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's it, you guys. Everybody, thanks for coming by. I'm going to be showing bikes. Please put all your questions and comments in the comment section below. That way I know exactly what you want to see. I can answer the questions that you have about any bikes that I'll be showing you. But I'm about to flood these out all week just so you can see them, okay? So you have a better idea, like, oh, I never seen that one, or I saw that one, but I ain't know nobody that was really telling the truth about it. I'm gonna tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Because some of these bikes I love, and some of them is like, and some of them is like, nope, no. All right? So with that being said, Everybody, Lev Farmer 73, thank you for coming to Hood Tech. Gigi's Natural, everybody, thank you for coming through. Game Nerd Mom, thank you, Black Star, for coming through. It ain't that many people in here. I can call people out. Miss 1204, Trailer Park Gardener, Black Star, Gigi's Natural, Game Nerd Mom. Okay, She Said, Cato Family Farm. I'm just talking to the people that participated. She is Sunshine, Little Sister. And I hope I didn't miss nobody. C-Man, aka Bubba, aka Bubba. The Analytic Gardener. Let me see. This ain't like my other channel. I can actually come in here and talk to folks. Carla, let me see. Be Rich in the house. Be Rich. Let me see. Power Chair Farmer, Shiny 2003, CP Family Farming, and I think that's it. I think that's about it. I think it was a couple more at the very top. My Two-Step Garden, I knew it was another one. A. Roberts, Walter Williams, and it's a couple more. Lorenzo, Gerard Rivera, Candace T, Evan B. Scott, Dave Busby. We at the very top. So I want to say thank you to everybody that was coming in. It is smoking in this house. I'm about to open these windows and I got to go take some more bikes out there. And look, I'm getting exercise whether I want to or not. Yesterday was my walking day. Today is going to be my biking day. So I'm going to be talking about that on my channel as well. I've been rotating my exercises. So one day I'm going to bike it. The next day I'm going to walk it out. The next day I'm going to bike it. I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep rotating that so it don't get boring and it don't make it like, I don't want to go out here and do this 4 miles. Ugh. You do that and it works. I got one more thing to say before you leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. Don't hang up. Don't hang up. Don't hang up. Listen. If you are trying to lose weight and you are not motivated by exercise, most people ain't motivated by exercise. That's why America is a little, thick. These electric bikes really help you and motivate you to get on them because they fun and they don't force you. You go so far away from the house, right? And you like, oh man, I don't feel like riding all the way back. Just hit the throttle and cruise back. Where yesterday I saw myself, I was testing another bike that y'all saw me on last night. I was testing another bike. That bike was so damn fun that I saw myself cranking the gears up and cutting the pedal assist down to 1. Uphill, downhill, everything. And I did that in the middle of the night. My wife was wondering where I was. She called me and everything. I saw myself having fun. That bike it's been put together for weeks. But last night was the first time I've ridden it. I rode that thing for over 5 miles in the middle of the night when y'all saw me finish that video. Over 5 miles that quick. Because it was that much fun. So once you get on these things, you get stronger and stronger and stronger, and you start to realize that you don't use pedal assist that much. You are really pedaling this yourself, so you can take baby steps. If you're trying to lose weight or gain muscle or just, be better at riding this bike, you can take as many baby steps as you want. There's so many settings on here you can change, and they're easy to change. You don't got to be a scientist or a computer whiz to change any of the settings. It's all simple stuff. Push of a button. Okay? So just to let you know, if you are trying to lose weight and you are trying to get out and enjoy your time outside more, this may be a way to go. It really, really helps. I got a bike out here with no electric. That bike been sitting out there for a year in the rain. I ain't getting on that. I tried it. I ain't getting on that. I come home with a busted back. Okay. Say riding is fun. You can do much of it and forget the time I missed something. I missed something. It faded out. All right, y'all. But thank you for coming by Hood Tech 73. I enjoyed this talk. I wish y'all would talk more because I'm telling you, I know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. As soon as I cut this video off, y'all going to ask me some questions. Them emails and stuff going to pour in. But it don't matter. We're going to keep on doing this till we get it right. And anything you need to know about these e-bikes or any other tech that I'm going to be showing you, put it in the comments. All right, Live Farmer 73. Thank you for coming Hood Tech. I love you, and I'm out.